Welcome to Gray Overload. I'm Anthony, and with all the reviews are out now, or a lot of them are, and the verdicts are now in with AMD's GPU and CPU lineups. I did not get any of the CPUs or GPUs to review that AMD just released here on 7.7, but I've gone through a lot of information, kind of read and looked at and watched a lot of stuff just to kind of see what my feelings are and where these products actually sit. And overall, I am impressed with both their GPU and CPU side. And I'm going to start off with the CPU side of things, and I really like the new features, including a lot of new features, keeping that backward socket capable, as well as still bringing new features to the platform. So if you want to go get your 570 board and get your newest processor, great. But what I also like too is the PCI Express 4 and the SSD capabilities that are out there. Now, I don't think everyone's going to see a great possibility of improvements there, but let's say you're a content creator or somebody that does a lot of SSD heavy work, let's say video scrubbing, and you're being able to go through. Cortex did a video. He's a channel on YouTube that definitely check it out. He has two reviews, one of Navi and one of Ryzen. Those look like makes it a lot simpler just to be able to scrub through and do video and start getting to what you want to be done completed in that process. So that's what I really like to see on this new PCI Express 4.0 SSDs. Graphics cards right now aren't going to be really using them, even though AMD released it with 4.0. However, that's what you're getting right now. I think the biggest thing is the PCI Express 4.0 is SSDs. If that's something you're looking at, definitely take a look at it as well. Now, AMD is not releasing the 3950X here until September, so we only have the 12-core, 24-thread out, and then 8 cores and 16 threads, and then 6 cores and 12 threads. And from top to bottom, it is really kind of cool. I mean, the R5s are very competitive. I mean, they basically just push Intel around in that segment against the i5. And if you're looking at that segment, unless Intel comes with a price cut to make their stuff more attractive, I think you found your product in that price point. Now, as we go up the stack, there's that 3700X looks very promising. I think that AMD should have did it slightly differently, but in naming schemes. But that's in a different video. The 3700 is really competing well with that. It looks to be just competing with the 9900K, not so much the 9700K. So in that scenario too, unless you need the last frames per second and want to spend extra money out of your pocket, there is no reason to get that 9900K, because what is it, like $329 or something that 3700 is? That is a great price point to be able to jump in and have great multitasking. AMD is just stomping them on all the multitasking stuff. Whereas Intel still keeps that slight edge to better gaming, and we never know what could happen with software improvements or even Windows scheduler improvements, etc., driver improvements from AMD, Windows, or the game developer. So there's still stuff there I think that can be improved on. And what we're also seeing, then you go with 12 core, and that just, your multi-threading capability is just awesome, as well as then you're getting versus 9900K. 9900K is a little bit cheaper, but you're getting 4 more cores, 8 more threads on that 3900X, and again, you're very close in gaming, but you're doing really great stuff on a lot of the other multi-threaded workloads. So it's not really a straight answer, but if you're doing anything but gaming, you're probably going to want these Ryzen CPUs now if you're looking for a new computer. And at what times really are you not doing something else on your computer? We hope one day that Windows gets a little bit better at stuff so that we can actually go through and have a solid gaming machine. But right now there's a lot of stuff in the background that I'm always doing. And even when I watch my parents or something, a lot of times they're doing stuff in the background. Yeah, they're not gamers, but for what they do and how basic they are on the computer, it's never just having one thing up and running. So that's something also taken into consideration when you're looking at it. I do believe that as the next generation consoles come out, games will be more effective on utilizing more cores and threads. So, and the reason why I say that, people always say that, well, they didn't in the past, but in the past it was very weak. It was, the Bobcat Jaguar cores on those consoles, the PS4 and the Xbox One, where they weren't really the full, AMD high-end, better cores that they have today, Zen, or even the Bulldozer ones. So those were never really coded for until today. And once we get those out in the consoles, and game developers do that, the porting of the game should be very straightforward for the CPU side of things. Graphics side, yeah, that's something else to talk about there, but we should be able to see more benefits from that and seeing what game developers can do. Time will tell, but I think that they will start looking towards that side of things and how to keep optimizations even easier between the two platforms. And they're going to have to then also optimize for Intel as a separate task. And that's kind of how I see it going forward, if they can utilize that. So the value right now is, with AMD for the most part, but I would also consider some of the older products, which I'll come back to at my last point. But there might be some growing pains, like I mentioned, in these new CPUs. I do expect there to be a little bit more improvements on the Windows side of things. I do also expect that there are always going to be improvements on AMD driver side stuff, and game developers, if they wish to, I think can also see some benefits there as well for those CPU sides. Now, let's jump into the GPU, because I think I was more shocked about the GPUs than anything. And I think AMD actually impressed me most with the GPU. I was expecting a lot with the CPU, and they nailed it. But the GPU, I thought the graphics card was still going to be too expensive, and they needed to come in lower. Now, I still think that if they had it another $50 lower, it would be a steal. It would be something to upgrade to. I'd like to see them with, stuff more powerful for that card. But I was not even looking at that it could be pushing close to the 2070 Super and being, even beating it in some areas, and the 2070 Super and 1080 Ti. I was expecting more, 1080 performance in there, and it's $100 cheaper than 2070 Super. So you're talking, this is the 5700 XT. So the 5700 XT, $100 cheaper, and very close to the 2070 Super. Who knows if drivers improvements as they go through, because it looks like AMD did it again and screwed up the driver launch and not having it all ironed out before they, get the product out. So they're doing a lot of last minute stuff, which means in a couple months, I'd like to see where these cards sit after a retest, after they start putting some effort into it. And the 5700 is competing with the 2060 Super. Looks like it beats it in some, it loses in a few, but I was almost seeing it beats it in a few more. And maybe I was just getting my benchmarks all confused up in my head, but wow, that was not something I was expecting. Now, the reference cooler, AMD, get out of your head that you think the reference cooler is great. Go to axial fans, 2 fans on it, and you kind of did that for Radeon 7, just move to that thing. People are saying the reference cooler is better than Vega. Time will tell as other people get them, but I'm waiting for the AIB boards to see what they can do, because if they can keep it a little bit cooler, that is a much better prospect, I think, for the cards than the current reference coolers. And hopefully this will be the last generation AMD does this, their 5000 series, and when they come with the 6000 series, they will finally remove the pain points of these reference coolers. Time will tell, we will see. But I would want to also mention, Gamers Nexus did say that they saw this as one of the worst coolers they've ever tested in their lab. So just keep that in mind when that is around. So it does look like the 5700 is much faster than the 2060 at the 2060 price. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at that price point. I think AMD did a good job on slotting them in $50 increments. I like that. So if you have a price point where you want to go to, you can just look at the two cards, NVIDIA, AMD, and see which one kind of fits your budget. I like what they did there. Maybe the CPU side will slot in more like that eventually too, but they've done a pretty good job of that overall. Now, I think it's more graphics card where people kind of look more in the $50 increments, but yeah, let me know what your thoughts are in there. And like I said, with growing pains, drivers. AMD, got to get your drivers going right, People are going to want to overclock this. People are going to want to test it. Open it up. Make your GPU lineup just like your CPU lineup. Unlocked. Let people go after it and let's see what they can do. Yeah, if it reaches close to their card, so be it. But just open it up. People want to be able to tinker. And AMD, you know this, it's not everybody. But the people that want to be able to tinker, they're going to talk about it. And then that just makes you look like a little worse product here. But, you know, AMD, you can easily just open it up like you do on your CPU side and see what people can do. And I think that would be the best objective for your consumers. So basically the feature side of things, NVIDIA has ray tracing. Yeah, AMD eventually will have it. I'm not really too concerned about this whole ray tracing your feature set and everything else. Get the GPU that's going to be, you're going to be playing a lot of games on that you want to see in your price point. Eventually, yeah, ray tracing may be there, but who knows? I have some bad experience with first gen products, and then they killing them off because they didn't support it up to what standard they need to support it in the second generation product with software. So if that's the case, then I'm kind of skittish on the whole ray tracing side anyways, because I'm afraid that they're going to, you know, update to something else that's slightly different. They means renders the old stuff useless. Who knows if that's going to happen? That's just my little skittishness of that, and that's something I could see them doing or tweaking a little bit that, you know, means that it's not as efficient as it. You may still have it, just not as what you expected when you bought it. Who knows? But that's where I kind of see it right now. The anti-lag stuff is great if you can be able to tell, you know, image sharpening. Let's just render the images as sharp as possible when we first put it through the car. Let's make the cards powerful enough so that they can run everything super sharp, and we don't have to, you know, do image sharpening and everything else. But, you know, that's my thing. You know, that's what I like to see. Value, you can see kind of why AMD wanted to come down. I don't know if we really know of what AMD was originally planning. No one really is in the higher up meetings, and I'm guessing they're not going to be telling us what they actually had determined to start with. However, this could be start of a little price war. We'll see if NVIDIA kind of counters after a few months with this to get these GPUs in the $200 range. That'd be great. I don't know. I don't necessarily see that happening. A thing that I've been wanting to talk about in a couple of videos and actually do a dedicated video about it is cryptocurrencies. But that's always sitting in the back of my head. In the last couple of videos, I've been kind of tinkering if I bring it up because it is a sore subject. I mean, that's like a, you know, somebody just keeps digging a nail into your back. If you're a gamer, you don't want to hear that. But cryptocurrency prices have been starting to come back up. That's just something to keep an eye on as well. Not wanting you to jump into a product purchase, but keep that in mind as we're going forward. I would even just maybe keep a little tab open every, you know, check it once a week, once a day, whatever, and just to see where that price is trending to, just so you're aware of it, especially if you're a gamer and looking to buy product. Now, I do hope though that they do come down, and hopefully NVIDIA and AMD have learned their lessons on this stuff, but who knows? AMD still is trying to make the most amount of money for investors. So is NVIDIA. Got to keep that in mind. We can get great products and everything else, but in the end, investors want their money. AMD wants to have profit. So one thing to keep in mind is that there is old products out there. The Ryzen second generation 2000 series and first generation are going to get lower in price. Some people have been reporting underneath $200 for some 8 cores. That is an excellent price availability there. If you want to kind of save some money and go with that generation, that's an option as well. Depends upon where you sit on, hey, I want the newest stuff, or hey, I just want the best bang for the buck. Take a look at that stuff. I'm wondering to see where Vega 56s, RX 570s, some of the older AMD products and the GPU side go to. I was looking at them this weekend, and they were around what a Vega 56 was, and 64 were like $299 and 379, 399. So I was like, wow, the 5700s look pretty good price point comparison. But if those kind of start sliding down, where I could see the 56 getting down there quite a bit. There's a used card market as well, but if they get down there for brand new, that's an option too if you're looking to save a little bit of money and still have a decent GPU side. So my thoughts are on the CPU side, wow, AMD did a really great job. Can't wait for that 3950X. and see what AMD was able to do there with it. Very impressed with the CPU side, how they compete, how they close the gap in gaming, and made it so it's very competitive. Anybody that has an old AM4 socket and these chips can plug into, it's a great upgrade option if you're looking to upgrade there. The 5700 on the GPU side, I hope AMD kind of rounds that out, but they impressed me overall. Granted, I'd still like to see a little bit lower prices on them, but you know, that was kind of me seeing a lower price, so I would be upgrading my own machine or add one in just to have, you know, just to get a new graphics card. But overall, AMD did a great job here. I'm waiting for those AIBs to get their better coolers on them to see how they perform. But overall, this is quite impressive. I think that this is one of AMD's better launches. I mean, they've had two good ones here, but better launches is then also including the GPU side to do things. I also think that this releasing together is going to get a lot of people to buy a Ryzen CPU and a Radeon GPU. That's going to be a great idea for AMD to gain some market share. I'm going to be watching the next couple quarters to see how that market share jumps up and comes in and determines where they sit. So with that, it was very, oh, by the way, it was very classy today. NVIDIA announced something or had something to tell them that Ryzen works great with GeForce. It's kind of fun to see that they're kind of getting into there and kind of reminding people, because I think they had the same thing where a lot of people are just going to go Ryzen Radeon. They want to make sure that they're in that as well, tweeting that out, getting people to see that, yeah, we work well with Ryzen too. So I'm guessing they're putting a lot of effort into optimizations with their drivers on AMD processors as well. So let me know what your thoughts are in the description below. I'm overall impressed, so I'm more shocked than I was going into this. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. I really want to read them, see what you guys think, and if you guys want to see more tests and stuff, maybe eventually I might have a little bit of extra cash that I can purchase some of these systems and try them out. I got some other stuff to do first, but until next time, I appreciate your comments. I appreciate the help you do this channel and helping it grow. Really awesome to see what you guys do to help that out, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.